Okay.
First, let me welcome all of the mayoral candidates from Corpus Christi on behalf of the Island United Political Action Committee. I'd like to say thank you very much for everyone for making the time and being able to show up today. We know you've had busy schedules. The candidates that are online this evening are Joe McComb, our current mayor, Carolyn Vaughn, Eric Rodriguez, John Medina, Paulette Gallardo, and Priscilla Gonzalez. Thank you all very much for being here. And hopefully technology will work for us today. We have Alex up here in the top. If you can wave Alex. Alex is our technical guy. If you have any issues, chat with Alex and he'll make sure that you can get back on as quickly as you can.
And if all things go wrong, I blame David.
You have no idea. We've been working on this for a week, trying to get it to stream properly. And him and I have been going back and forth. Right now, we have everything working, so we don't want to touch anything. So that's kind of where we're sitting right now. As you guys may or may not know, my name's David Heitzman. I am the president of the Island PAC. And Ryan Pendergraft, who isn't here today, is our vice president, Bob Paulson, with the headphones on, who will be our moderator, is the treasurer. Dan Brown, wherever you are, Dan, there you are at the top of my screen. Dan Brown is our secretary. We also have Brent Rourke, Carter Tate, Dan Harrington, Linda Walsh that I just saw show up, Nick Colosi, and Suzanne Guggenheim. So our Zoom meeting today only has the candidates and the PAC board members so that we can basically control it. But what we are doing is we are streaming it live to YouTube with a link also to Facebook so that people are watching this right now. There's a slight delay to YouTube. I don't know if you guys can see it, but in the top corner of my screen, it says live to YouTube. So Alex is making sure that that's happening. Debbie is currently watching from afar to make sure that all things are working on the Facebook side as well as the YouTube side. So with that, we hope the technology works today. I want to remind everyone at home that voting for the IUPAC candidates who you'd like us to support starts today. And it will run through Monday, October 5th at noon. That would be the deadline, Central Standard Time, for anyone who wants to vote to be able to get that vote into us. If you haven't registered for voting for your candidates, please check out the IUPAC website at islandunitedpac.com or our Facebook page for instructions. You can also email us at islandunitedpac@gmail.com, and we encourage all of you watching to have your votes heard. We will be doing an instant runoff voting format. I'm not going to go into detail about that now. We don't want to waste everybody's time on that. However, on the website, it does explain everything on how that works. Tonight will be a question and answer session consisting of about 6 questions drawn from a pool of over 50 questions that we've gone through. Given the large number of candidates, we wanted to limit the number of questions to ask so that we can be sensitive to your time and have an opportunity to let everyone speak. Bob Paulson, who is one of our senior committee members, will be acting as a moderator. So Bob will be randomly selecting candidates in no particular order, and each candidate will have the opportunity to respond within the time frame that Bob proposes for each question. I, on the other hand, have the worst job. I'm the guy that has to do this. You have 15 seconds, you have 30 seconds. I'll prompt you if you can see me. I don't want to say anything. I'm looking at this, and can everybody see me right now? You have 2 options on your screen. You have a gallery view, and you also have a speaker view. If you use the gallery view, you can see me, and you can see everyone else as well. If you use speaker view, you will only be able to see the person that's speaking. So I want to make that clear so you can see this. If I don't see that you can see it or you're not acknowledging it, then I may have to say something, but I'm going to try not to. I don't want to interrupt your trains of thought. I don't want you to get lost by those comments. I hope this doesn't distract from your answers, but given our Zoom format, I wouldn't know how you could see me. So we just wanted to make sure we had a way of doing it. During the Q&A session, I'll have everyone muted to avoid any background noise. When Bob calls your name, I think I can unmute you or let you unmute yourself. I'll be able to prompt you to ask to unmute, but unmute yourself. So we shouldn't have a problem with that. On the bottom left hand of your screen is where you'll find that. Sorry, my computer just decided to open up get rid of that. Now I got to find you guys again. Give me just 1 second. How did I lose you guys?
I don't know. We can still see and hear you, David. Can you hear us?
There you are. Found you again. What happened was for some reason, it shrank down to nothing. That's how technology works. We have multiple redundancies. So on the bottom left-hand side of your screen, you'll see the mute button. If you see a red line through it, I know most of you probably know this, but it's just a check. If you see the red line through it, you'll know that you're muted. If it's green and making movement, you'll know that you are ready to talk. So with that, if there's any questions before we get started, or is everybody pretty clear? Cool. So I'll turn this meeting over to Bob now, and Bob can get started with his Q&A session.
All right. Well, great. Thanks, David. And good evening, everybody. And welcome to the 2020 mayoral endorsement night for the Island United PAC. All right. So the way we're going to proceed tonight is prior to the event, each of you were assigned a number, and then I ran random strings of numbers, 1 through 9. And so I will go ahead and be calling you at random based on the order that the numbers came out. Okay. So I will, so the order will be different for each question as we go through, just to give, just to make it fair, so that everybody has an opportunity to answer at different points in the dialogue. All right. So for the first question, the first person who will be responding to this is Carolyn Vaughn. And as the first question, it'll be an easy one. And just tell us a little bit about yourself, and more importantly, what is it that motivated you to run for mayor?
Well, I'm a mom, and I've been married to my husband for 50 years. I have 3 children, 8 grandchildren, 1 great-grandchild. We run a business. It's an oil field business. We run downhole surveying. And I decided to run because I was very frustrated with what was going on in the council, and I just have a real fear they're going to put the city in bankruptcy if they continue what they're doing. I prayed about it and felt like I was led to do it, and that's why I'm going to run. And I'm running on honesty, ethics, and transparency. That's the same thing I ran for in 2014.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I didn't say so at the beginning of, but for this one, for most of the questions this evening, we'll try to give you 2 minutes to answer. There are 1 or 2 that are very short, so it'll be only a minute. And David already went over the timing. All right, next is Eric Rodriguez.
How's it going? Thank y'all, everybody, for having me here tonight and tuning in to watch. My name is Eric Rodriguez. I am a proud single father of a beautiful, intelligent 11-year-old girl named Bailey. She's the reason why I joined this race. She's my main driving force and the reason why I believe in the future of Corpus Christi so much. Given my work experience, 12 and a half years, I worked for the Department of Defense in environmental management. That consists of the Clean Air Act compliance, the Clean Water Act compliance, and as well as creating and implementing emergency management and disaster response plans, which I feel is pretty relevant to what's going on in our city with current situations. Once again, thank you all for having me, and appreciate it.
All right, well, thank you, Eric. Paulette, you're next.
Hi, here we go. My name is Paulette Guajardo. I'm your 2-term councilwoman at large, and I know many of you know my background. I was born and raised in Corpus Christi, and I have a business degree here from Texas A&M Corpus Christi. And in the interest of time, I'd like to focus on a couple of items: our accomplishments together and our partnerships for the future. I'm asking for your vote because during the critical decision-making process for the future of Island Park Road 22 Bridge project, I stood up, fought for the island, and worked to secure its future. When the Island Market grocery store was stalled, I provided the leadership to move the project forward. At every turn, I have worked for our island for its success, having facilitated the beach swap after 10 years by working in partnership with Commissioner Brent Chesney to provide continuous beach cleaning from Access Road 6 to mile marker 252. created the Small Business Pandemic Relief Program, which I personally went door to door to most island businesses to let them know it was available. I posted daily COVID-19 updates so that you are informed, launched conversations with the councilwoman, which led to the island permanent police presence, reintroduced our infamous litter critter, and have always had the best time in the Barefoot Mardi Gras Parade and the festival. As your mayor, I will listen to you and I will continue to listen to you. I will work directly with you to manage the growth, understand our infrastructure needs, and build a mighty tourism plan with a focus on the island with the CVB and its new leadership. I will continue to make certain that the Park Road 22 bridge stays on track, and it will continue to be, and I will continue to be a 100% island vote. I'm running for mayor to rebuild and recover our economy, fix our streets, strengthen public safety, and redefine our city's role in public health. I'm asking for your vote, and I am the only candidate who is proving themselves citywide and will continue to be proactive. Corpus Christi's next mayor must be approachable, accessible, and not take a back seat to city issues. And one last thing, we are not going into bankruptcy. Let me address that. The city has had 2 credit rating upgrades with Fitch and Moody's within the last 15 months alone. So we are not going into bankruptcy. Our city manager and his executive team is doing an amazing job keeping us afloat even during this pandemic.
Thank you, Paulette.
All right, thank you, Paulette. Priscilla, you are next, please. Why are you? Tell us a little bit about yourself and why you're running for mayor.
Afternoon, everybody. Buenos días, ¿cómo están? Mi nombre es Priscila Gonzalez. I'm 36 years old, Latina, proud child of immigrants. I've resided in Corpus Christi for over 12 years. I've helped build a small business into a large business. I see the dire need of leadership in Corpus Christi, and I am not a candidate that is running on deceit and dishonesty, which I see amongst our mayoral candidates. Amongst all of them, I am the most qualified to run. I am the youngest, I am female, I am Latina. I do not have 3 bullet points. I have one main pyramid, and at the top of my pyramid is to improve the quality of life of every citizen in Corpus Christi, Texas. It is unfortunate to say that our city council and our mayor has not successfully accomplished this. So neither our councilwoman or anybody else has actually improved the quality of life of every citizen in Corpus Christi, and that is why I am running for office. It is not funny that our current mayor laughs at the COVID-19 situation. It is not funny that another ex-city councilwoman is running on deceit and dishonesty. It is not funny that another one is running on anti-LGBTQ hate platform. I am here, I am for the people, I am by the people, I am grassroots, I am a proud Latina, and I am here to represent every citizen in Corpus Christi, Texas. And thank you so much for having me.
Well, thank you very much. John Medina, you are next, please. Tell us a little bit about yourself and why you're running for mayor.
John, you'll have to unmute yourself.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, good to go.
Yes, sir. I'm John Medina. I'm 62 years old. I've been in Corpus Christi under a little 40 years, but I've been in the South Texas here, 62 years. My family comes from here, from Corpus Christi. The reason I'm running for mayor is because of what's happening here with our city council. I'm basically never thought about running until I found out what was going on. These people are bribable, and John Medina is not bribable by nobody. I'm really fed up with what's happening here in the city. The roads are in shambles. Our water's messed up. There's just so many problems. My number one concern is the roads right now and the water. We got 4 water towers that are sitting that are not even being worked on, that we spent millions on. And our roads, that's another thing that's happening. We just need to get these things prioritized and done. And I'll be the man to do that. Corpus Christi is a beautiful city, and we need this city to grow. And apparently what's going on with our past mayors and city council, businesses want to come here, and what happens, it gets thrown out. We need someone that's going to stand up and do right what is for the city. This city, sparkling city by the sea, it's not. We need to make this city a sparkling city by the city and clean it up. Again, my name is John Medina, and I'm running for mayor for the people. I'm for the people. God bless America. God bless Corpus Christi. And I will be your next mayor because I will stand tall with John Medina. Please.
All right. Well, thank you very much, John.
Thank you.
All right. And Member Combe, that leaves you for last. If you would please just tell us who you are and why you're running for mayor. Oh, you're going to need to unmute yourself, or David, you can unmute him.
There we
All
go.
right, there you go.
I appreciate the opportunity. I love public service. I don't have any personal hidden agendas. I've served the island as a county commissioner, and we did some great things back then. For those that are relatively new on the island, we led the fight years ago to get Packard Channel opened, to elevate the JFK Causeway. And then my last term up at the county commissioner's office, we secured a grant from the Rochelle Foundation that acquired 3,000 acres of island property out there across from the national seashore to give it to the county so that we could open that, keep that and make it available for the public and keep it in its pristine condition and its natural state. We've worked hard as the mayor. I want to continue to do that over the terms that I've served, the last 2 terms. We've reduced your bonded indebtedness by over $200 million. We've got a superior water rating with the city. And if you recall, before I got on the mayor, the city was plagued with water boils too frequently. I've been tested in terms of trying to exhibit some leadership during some very trying times. We had Hurricane Harvey, but I think we led that effort very well. We had Hurricane Hannah just recently. And then, of course, we've been going through the pandemic. Some people think that your success is based on the number of times you're in front of a TV camera, you get your name on television, or you're in the newspaper. I'm not real interested in all the publicity, but I am interested in the progress for the city, and I think we've made a lot. We've made a tremendous move forward on getting the roads improved throughout the community. We are working on Park Road 22 bridge, and that's been going on a long time. We found the funds to finally make that happen, and we held our ground. And we were not going to move forward until the developer honored their commitments to do what they were going to do. And so we did that, and that project's moving forward, and it'll be a great asset for the island and for the community. So it's been a pleasure to serve as mayor. I was born and reared in Corpus Christi, graduated from Ray High School, graduated from Stephen F. Austin State University with a degree in business. And I understand the role of a mayor, and it's not to be there on a full-time basis. We've got a city manager, a professional that runs the city, and I think we made a great choice in Peter Zanoni. For anybody that spends all their time thinking they're going to be a full-time person, they're really in violation of the charter. But that's the role that the mayor leads, the chairman of the board, so to speak. We set the policy, we help the city manager implement the policy, and we work with people. We work to make sure the Naval Air Station stays here, and I've got 15 seconds, so I'm going to close and we'll get to something else.
All right. Well, thank you very much. All right. Well, all right. Thank you very much for those answers, everyone. All right. We're going to move on to the second question here. And some of you actually touched on an answer to this one in your opening comments, but we're going to give you a chance to specify it. We're going to try to keep this one to a minute response. So here's the question. What is the number one thing that you want to achieve while you're in office? And if the more that applies to the island, if you have some ideas on the number one thing that you want to do for the island, that would be acceptable as well. So we're going to start with John Medina. Number one thing that you want to accomplish, and if you have ideas for the island, that would be even more appropriate.
Can you hear me?
Hear about? Yes.
Yes,
We've
sir.
got you.
Yeah, for the island, well, for one thing, we need to keep the for it to be drivable. Basically, what happened, they shut the beach down, where we couldn't drive onto the beach. That's one thing I would not do. I would keep them open. We pay for the tags to be able to be on the beach. And I believe our current, one of the ladies there that decided to shut it down. And she got some backlash on that. I didn't approve it. That's one of the things that I would keep the beaches open.
All right. Well,
That was
thank you.
30 seconds. Do I have more time?
If you have something, you still have some time left if you'd like to.
The roads are my, if there's any roads that need to be done and fixed, what needs to be taken care of is basically, we need to get our city employees to train them on these zippers that can grind these streets down and utilize the material that we've got. We've got, when these materials get grinded up, all we have to do is add some additive with the engineer's approval and get these city employees to work on them. I feel that we can get things accomplished on the roads. That's my number one priority. Thank you.
Thank you, John.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Mayor McComb, you're next. Your number one thing you are looking to accomplish in your next term. And if you've got some ideas on the number one thing you want to do for the island, we would all appreciate hearing that too.
Well, for the island particularly, I mean, we want to get that Park Road 22 bridge finally done. You've been hearing and talking about it for many years, and we finally have got all the stars lined up, I think, to make that happen. From a citywide standpoint, I think there's no bigger project for the future of our city and the region, and that is to secure us an unending supply of water, an uninterruptible supply of water. And we're going to do that. I was here when we had the drought and we had to ration, and that's no fun. And we started out, there's been 11 mayors dealing with this issue, and we have been moving forward for the last 5 years, working on a partnership with the community to secure us an uninterruptible water supply. We're on the verge of great things, and the council is moving forward with that. And this will be a leadership role that the city of Corpus Christi, I think, will make history by doing it. And we'll be a leader in water because water is very scarce, not only in South Texas, but it's beginning more and more across the state of Texas. So we want to continue to improve our roads. We're making great strides. We've spent millions of dollars on our roads. The biggest one project I think that probably all the city is going to be happy about is beginning October 1st in the new fiscal year. The city of Corpus Christi will approach and begin to redo Ocean Drive from Ennis Joslin and Ocean Drive out near the university all the way down to the American Bank Center. That's our premier boulevard for selling our city to the public and our tourists that come in and see it. They get to see the homes, they get to see the university, they get to see the marina. They really, it's a beautiful drive, and it's going to be in tip-top shape about 18 months after they get started on Ocean Drive, and we're funding that. We think that we've made great strides in the hiring of City Manager Peter Zanoni. He has done great things financially. We've had our bond rating increased over the last couple of years. Like I said, we've reduced our bonded indebtedness. One of the things that we want to continue to pursue, we started and then got interrupted by COVID, and that is dealing with our homeless. I think we need to be compassionate, but yet firm in trying to get these people not just off the street, but we need to get them into rehab or providing services for them that need to get them reunited with their families and get their lives back together. So there's a lot to do, and we want to continue down that path.
Thank you very much. All right, Commissioner Vaughn, you're next.
Okay, I think that's a two-part question. I think the thing that I would do for the island, first off, is I would tackle the problem that you have with Packery Channel because there is no permit. Even if you wanted to dredge it, you could not because the city let the permit lapse. A lot of you may not know that, but that is important. That should never have happened, and someone specific should just be directed to make sure that does not never happen again. But it has been 3 years and you still do not have a permit to dredge Packery Channel. The other thing for the city, I think one that I'm concerned about is the debt. And we do have a problem with that. You may have a good credit rating now, but if you right now you have over $1 billion that you're looking at, 725 million for the wastewater consent decree that has to, projects have to be done over 15 years. That's not even counting how much you've been fined, which is well over $1 million. 222 million that you're wanting to do for a desal plant that you do not have to do. The city does not have to take that risk. A company can do that. They sell the water to the city sells it to industry, and the citizens are not at risk. The other thing is a $72 million bond street that you've got. That I don't believe that counts for the utility lines underneath the street. And they may tell you that the bond doesn't increase your property taxes, but they're not going to tell you it could increase your utility rates. So I am concerned about the debt. The fiscal responsibility is the first thing that I would take a look at.
All right, thank you very much. Priscilla, you're up next on that. The number one thing that you would like to achieve as the mayor. There you are. Okay.
Here I am. Can you hear me? So la primera
Yes.
cosa que voy a address is I'm going to help boost the tourism industry, which is going to significantly improve North Padre Island. So as soon as I am elected mayor, we are going to revamp things. We are going to secure funding. The reason our streets are being repaved again is because our city council and in the past has purchased cheap steel, which actually eventually ends up sinking when the next hurricane season comes. So my goal is to bring in more revenue, grow the tourism industry. And as soon as we do that, we will have more money for funding for the streets, fix the streets, pretty much do everything that our current city council is not doing right now. And if whatever they are doing is working, and if the public does agree with it, I am going to cooperate with them and take everybody's opinions and plans into consideration, implement them, and move forward.
Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right, Councilwoman Guajardo, you are next up on your number one thing to accomplish.
Thank you. I would keep an extreme close eye of oversight on the Park Road 22 bridge, because it isn't just about that bridge. That bridge that promotes and it spurs the development on the east side of Park Road 22. So it's extremely, extremely important, bringing at least $1 billion to our economy. Build and recover our economy. Obviously, that's the main thing, which means a tourism recovery plan, fixing our streets and implementing a COVID-19 recovery plan. I would work with our governor to attain state and federal grants and create jobs. Keeping our beaches open, of course, is extremely important. And to build and recover our economy, we need a full-time mayor. Part-time is part-time. Full-time is full-time. And what you get for a full-time job is what Corpus Christi and the citizens of Corpus Christi need, which is our city to go to the next level. So it's extremely important that people understand what you put into your job is what you're going to get out. So when you increase the hours of one's job, an employee's jobs, it's not necessarily, you're not taking over somebody else's job duties. The city manager needs to do the city manager's job. A mayor is about leading the city to the next level.
All right. Well, thank you. Eric, it's your chance now to answer.
All righty, thank you. So first off, citywide, I think one of my main objectives there is to push our city forward in the progress. And the way that I want to do that is by diversifying our economy with different revenue streams. We actually have an abundance of wind. We could be looking at offshore wind energy just to help offset some of our revenue to bring back to the budget to help out the city in general. Another thing, especially for the island, I want to be able to build coastal resiliency, with the island and help out with sea level rise and the climate change that's occurring. Because we all know that the flood insurance on the island is about to be a big thing as well. So those are some of the things that I'm looking at in the future to try to be proactive about and start working on now. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, next question. We'll make this a 2-minute maximum question. This is a new one for us, so I'm not quite sure how it's going to go. But all right, so the topic is well, out here on the island over the last several years, we've had quite a bit of activity with new houses being built and improvements being made to folks' lots, and as has happened in other places in the city from time to time, there are improvements that, for either just a lack of understanding of the requirements or just ignoring what they know are requirements to get permits and that sort of thing. We've had some code enforcement issues out here that have been discovered after the fact, and it's creating some expectations among some of the folks that live out here that, oh, well, my neighbor did it, so I can do it too. So this is a code enforcement question, as this is a developing, kind of an emerging issue out here. What would you suggest, or are there enough code enforcement personnel with the city now, or how would you redeploy them to make addressing those kinds of issues possible? Because right now there doesn't seem to be a tremendous amount of much that we can do. All right, so first up is Priscilla.
Interesting question. So one thing that I did learn in college is there is a solution to every problem. So I would refer to specialists. I would refer to our city council. I would refer to state, federal, and local government, and I would find a solution to the problem.
All right, thank you. Councilwoman Guajardo, do you think we have enough code enforcement personnel to respond to issues out here on the island? And do you have any ideas or thoughts about improving the effectiveness of code enforcement out here on the island for various issues?
No, and no. I think code enforcement it's a department that is extremely important within a city, because they are who go out and take care of the quality of life issues that affect you daily. We have a shortage. We did add code enforcement officers to the department. And I think, by the way, we need to bring solutions to questions like this. It's important that we think about what literally can we do. We are in the position to make change. Just side note there. But the other important thing would be to work with ISAC, for example, or to work with your HOA, because you live there. You know what kind of issues that exist that we're having problems with. I have met with your homeowners association president several times to discuss things just like this. And we do move forward. We move forward. As a matter of fact, there's a very good relationship with the current code enforcement officer that has been working so well. It's not the best, and it's a great question, because we have room for improvement. But to improve the department as a whole, we need to look at this budget to see how we can identify the areas of which y'all are having problems in and address those areas. But I absolutely think we can do better within that department, increase the officers by even more people, and continue to working in partnership.
All right, well, thank you. Eric, you're next.
All right, thank you for that question. So I do believe that we are understaffed, and the solution to that is we need more revenue to the budget to create those jobs, to get them adequately staffed. On my platform, I do have a proposal to increase our revenue through different revenue streams, as I was kind of talking about earlier. So I do believe it's possible to get the amount of code enforcement officers that we need for the island to make sure that y'all are properly staffed out there. And yeah, we don't want to have any problems within the neighbors. So that's an important issue there.
All right, thank you. Mayor McComb.
Yeah, well, I guess the question would be a distinction. Are we talking deed restrictions, or are we talking code enforcement from the city? If you're talking your deed restrictions, then if you got one neighbor builds an 8-foot fence and one builds a 6, that's really not code enforcement. That's if it's a deed restriction violation, we really don't enforce deed restrictions.
It's code enforcement.
Now, if it's a matter of trashing place up, misusing property, kind of keeping the place clean, they're doing things in violation of the city codes and building codes. Yes, and in this budget, we did add, I believe, 2 new code enforcement officers, and I think that will help in terms of getting the manpower out there. I think that we're continue to improve that service. One of the things we're committed to is trying to improve and clean up Corpus Christi. So code violations are very important. Hopefully, we could instigate a program that would restore pride of ownership in some property owners that just to get out there and neglect their property, but that's going to take a psychiatrist, I think, to get them to do that. But they've got to have a mindset. I can't understand anybody, particularly on the island, that would spend the money to buy a home on the island and then not take care of it. But as I was driving around out there, I've seen a few neighborhoods that could use a little help. But it's a great place, and we want code enforcement to be able to respond to your needs. And the main thing is that you let the police department or code enforcement know. And if we don't get a response, then you let us know and we'll follow up on it, because that's what they're there for. And we can't fix something if we're not aware of it. So if people are sitting around fussing about it, but they're not letting us know, that's one thing. But if they're letting us know, then we really need to take action, and we will do that with additional folks and a refocus on trying to improve our city, not only on the island, but all throughout the city.
Thank you. All right, Commissioner Vaughn, you're next.
Well, I think the important thing is to find out, are these recurring issues the same thing every time that they're breaking? I don't know that. I think that's something that you'd have to find out. We cannot keep continually adding to government and adding more staff and more staff. I think we probably have enough, but I think what the island needs is maybe 1 or 2 assigned just to the island. That's probably part of the problem, is because they don't come out here as often as they do other parts of the city. We have the same problem at Cal Island because of where we're at, and so does North Beach. So I think that the island, should have a couple assigned just for the island.
All right, thank you. And John Medina, bring us home on this one. And unmute yourself, please.
Okay. I have spoken to several contractors here that are basically unsatisfied. They're not satisfied with what's going on with code enforcement right now. I believe that we do need more code enforcement, but we need to be bringing in revenue instead of getting bond money and borrowing money. That's not what the citizens need. And we don't need higher taxes, especially for for all the citizens here in Corpus Christi, including the island. That is one of the things that has been brought to my attention, that there has been, they've been real slow at getting permits. And I believe I've spoken to about 6 different contractors, and whether it's true or not, some of them are saying that some of the contractors get treated better than others. So that would have to be looked at. If someone's being favored, a certain contractor versus another contractor, everything needs to be equally here. We're all in this city together, and we need to work together to improve our city and to get things done rapidly, because the contractors, they're spending money out there with their workers out there, and we need to get moving so they can make money, and the city and the island can profit.
All right, thank you very much. All right, that concludes this round. So now moving on to our next question. As a tourist destination within the city of Corpus Christi, short-term rentals are of interest to a lot of folks that live out here on the island. I'd like to ask you now to provide us with your position on short-term rentals. We'll give you 2 minutes each to answer this. And Commissioner Vaughn, you're first.
Well, that's probably kind of a touchy subject, but it's coming. It's all over the country now. They're doing it. I think that you have to listen to the public first and see what they're wanting. And I think we need to look at what other cities are doing. Maybe there should be certain areas that you have them in, like multifamily, single family. I just think there has to be a conversation. We had that problem in Kingsland where we have a home, and what we did as HOA, we set a minimum of what they could have, because I know here you have parties, you have cars and vehicles all over the place. And the other thing is that the city of Corpus Christi police need to enforce the laws that are on there when those things happen, noise and parties. So I think there has to be a conversation with the residents and see what they want to do and how they want to handle it, because it's here. We're going to have to find a solution. I think it comes from within the community.
All right, thank you. Priscilla. There you go. There you are.
Okay,
Sure.
sorry about that. I apologize.
No, it's fine.
Sure, we need to look at this from both angles. We have renters and then we have people who want to rent. So there's clearly like two sides. It benefits, you know, a renter, but then it also affects someone who's looking to actually travel to Corpus Christi. I do, and I would love to hear what every citizen in North Padre Island has to say about this. And I do believe that the best approach to this would be to maybe put out a poll and find out what majority of people would desire. Obviously, as a frequent traveler, I love staying at an Airbnb. I do know that's, you know, that's how people make their income, but I do also know that it affects, you know, other residents. So I would stay in the middle on that. I would take a poll. I would speak with every single citizen and give the public enough time to make a decision and then execute that decision.
All right, thank you. Mayor McComb.
Well, we have them. I think we're going to have to resolve the issue, but I think whatever policies that we establish, you got me on, can you hear me?
Yes, you're
Okay.
fine. Yep, hear you and see you.
Yeah, they've become a fact of life. They're a very good thing. And the island and the rest of the city, there should be some designated areas that these operations could work in. I think we have to be very careful, particularly in single family residential units. People buy their homes and they want to live in single family residential areas. But on the island, there are certain areas that these B&Bs can go, and they're very welcome. But the rules have to apply and apply fairly, and we need to make sure that they're accommodating. And I think one of we get a set of rules, and my opinion is that the fines that, if there are levied for people that are misusing the rules or partying or creating a havoc, that the fines would be levied against actually the property owner. And so that property owner would take a little more care and into who he's renting and set the rules and keep those people that disobey the rules not coming back or getting rid of them. But I think it's a fact of life. People love them. They're wonderful. But there has to be a balance between not ruining the neighborhoods and at the same time accommodating people that want to have them. So we've made some strides. We are collecting through a contract with the state some of the hotel motel tax that they ought to be paying. I mean, they're competing with the other investors and developers in town with hotels and motels and condominiums. So I mean, if they want to be in that business, they need to be paying their fair share of the sales of the hotel motel tax. But you can't rule them out. They're here with us, but I think we need to establish policies that are fair and equally enforced among all of them.
All right, thank you. Councilwoman Guajardo.
Okay. The Texas Supreme Court just sided, well, I shouldn't say just sided, in 2018 with property owners on this issue. So most importantly, we have to hear from you. You have the ISAC. You have your community that has a very strong voice, and you are heard. So we have to come to the table based on based on the ruling and based on such ordinances as our noise ordinance and other things that are being violated that we must address first, come together to see what makes sense to do. We need to look across America to see what the best ordinances look like and create our own for what fits our island and our city. So at the end of the day, it is about a conversation. It's about a seat at the table. It's about everyone having a voice and figuring it out, because it will make sense. It's in certain parts of our community and in our city, and maybe not others. So I'm not against it. But again, I don't think it's my decision to make. This is something that we have to come together and figure out.
All right, thank you. All right, John Medina, you are next. Position on short-term rentals. There you go.
Yeah.
You got it.
I agree with that, having short-term rentals, B&Bs. But again, it would be up to the citizens of the island and Corpus Christi. The voters have to vote on it, period, because we can just throw it upon them, and people are going to be just leaving the city because of what happen. I think we got to put a vote together, and if that's what they want, that's what they're going to get.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Well, thank you. All right, Eric Rodriguez, you're next.
Thank you. Appreciate it. I would be for it, for the Airbnb short-term rentals. I believe it's a great opportunity to create progress within the city and promote our tourism. Not necessarily at this time with the COVID-19 pandemic that's going on, maybe when it's more of a decline and we're seeing, not such a high rate of the cases. But I think by creating a general comprehensive plan on this issue and creating tourist zoned areas for these Airbnbs to be in, such as some parts of the island, North Beach, these are just examples, but really just tailoring a comprehensive general plan, but I would be for it. Thank you.
Great, thank you. All right, next question, moving on to our next question. We do, like everybody in the city, we do enjoy it when our elected officials come on out and visit with us. And we've been very fortunate in the past to have folks that come out and visit with us. Right now, though, I'd like to ask each of you, if you're elected, how will you make yourself available to the folks on Padre and Mustang Island throughout the period of your term? And we will start with John Medina. You're going to have to unmute yourself, please. There you go.
Yeah, what I want to do is make this a full-time job for me. I want to work for the citizens of Corpus Christi. I have to listen to them, what they want. Taxes are one of the things that need to be reduced here. We need to quit borrowing money. We need to quit getting bonds, and we need to rely more on grants and things of that nature. What else? I lost my train of thought. But
what would you do to come out and visit us?
Yes.
If elected, how will you make yourself available to Padre and Mustang Island constituents?
I would work full time, and I would come out here, and that's what I said. I would be full time, so I would visit the island. I would visit Flower Bluff. I would visit every district equally, and just to be fair, period. And I will work for the citizens of Corpus Christi, 110%, and whatever I have to give it, I'm going to do it, sir.
All right. Well, thank you very much. All right, Commissioner Vaughn, you're next.
Well, this has never been one of my districts or precincts, but I have been out here quite a bit just supporting Brent Chesney. But I would come to the meetings as I used to do in 2014 and 16 that y'all had the monthly meetings. My personal cell phone is listed, plus my would be the city phone when I make mayor. And I would come to the activities if I knew they were going on when they were going on. But we come out quite often to go to the beach. So we do come out and visit your area quite often. And we'll continue to do that.
All right. Thank you. Eric Rodriguez.
Thank you for that question. So I would like to create, weekly meetings within the district, whether that be in person or whether that be via Skype, Zoom, FaceTime, whatever avenue it took to have the transparency and show the support of every district, especially the island as well. And just to make sure that we create that structure and that bond together, so we always know what's going on and what y'all need help with and what we can do as a team to better progress the island and progress the city. So nothing's off the table for me, whether it's in person or, like I said earlier, via Zoom, Skype, whatever works, as long as we have constant contact. Thank you.
All right, Mayor McComb.
Yeah, well, you try to respond and go to as many functions as you can, but I think if you saw the request of attendance for the mayor and the number of opportunities that are provided to that office, physically you can't go to everything you're invited to. But you try to make the best efforts you can to go to as many possible functions as you can. I do know, both as county commissioner and as a council member, the folks on the island like to party. They have a lot of meetings, a lot of parties, so you can't make them all. But you try to make as many as you can. Of course, this last year, we've all been hamstrung with COVID. Your monthly meetings, you can't be held as normal, and attendance is there, but there's a challenge. But at the same time, you do need to get around, and you try to do that as best you can based on the schedule you have and the meetings and the commitments that you have. And so you get somebody in the office that can help you work your schedule and get your calendar to try to avoid as many conflicts or try to get as many of the opportunities there. And then if there's a particular issue that you just have to have a particular meeting, it's not really a meeting of a group, but if there's an issue that needs to be there, you set those up. Been out on several of those on the island where, it's not a big public function, but there's either dealing with some of the property owner situation and others where you come out and you meet with the people, find out what the problem is, and try to get that back to the proper department to try to address it. So you make yourself available. I mean, the mayor's office number is there. People have my cell phones. You can email me, you can call me. I'm pretty easy to find.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Priscilla.
Hi, yes, so we are going into the digital age, so that gives us a significant advantage. And as a millennial, I'm very tech savvy. I'm very quick at organizing meetings via Zoom and in person. So what I would do to tackle this in order to reach everybody, I would actually schedule on a weekly basis mandatory meetings for everybody. And I will round everybody up, use my marketing techniques, no excuses. I do not agree that you cannot attend every single event, because if you use your time management skills and you have a plan, which is what I am qualified to do, you can attend 2 meetings at one time. You can focus your attention. You can divide and conquer, and you can join meetings via Zoom, in person, emails, working 24/7, and I will be a full-time mayor. I don't own any other businesses. I don't have any other commitments. My entire life will be devoted to every single citizen of Corpus Christi.
Great, thank you very much. And Councilwoman Guajardo.
Great, thank you. Well, as you've heard, some candidates, they don't make it out to the island. They can't make it out to the island because they're busy. I'm going to work for you full time. I make it out to the island. I have a standing record that has me there, either going door to door, letting the small businesses know about the pandemic relief program that we have, participating in the Mardi Gras parade, because you guys are very proud of that parade, as you should be. And when your city representation is there, joining you in that, it's important. It matters to the people. I have spoken with our new CVB director because I want him on that island once a month, is what I told him. You need to be on the island. You need to know every business out there. So we have the right focus on this island. We've not had that yet. And with this new leadership, I promise you, we will have that. And he thought it was a wonderful idea. I reintroduced the litter critter. That is very important to the island. Why? Because I have constant communication with people on the island, and they constantly reach out to me because they know I will get things done. This is nothing new to me at all. The ISAC meetings are important. I attend those. I do not attend every single one, but you all have seen me there on a regular basis as much as I can be there. I think it's important. If you don't show, I don't have the time, can't attend every meeting on the island, well, I'm not sure what we're doing, because we have to be all over the city. You don't have to be at every meeting, but the island is not about meetings. The island is about the community. I've been at Island Joe's a handful of times in the last 6 months, meeting with people. I brought Peter Zanoni to you out there because I wanted him to see what was going on and how important this island is to our community and to tourism. So I think my record speaks for itself. And that's what I will do as your full-time mayor. You'll never hear me say I don't have time. There are too many meetings. We can't be everywhere. I'm everywhere. And I do everything I can. And I can pull you 10 names off that island right now that can back that up. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right. We're heading into the home stretch here. Next question has to do with our tax increment reinvestment zone. So the island, we've been talking mostly about North Beach and the establishment of TERS there, and then the one near Crosstown. But the island has had tax increment reinvestment zone number 2, or TERS 2, going back to when the Packery Channel was put in. The ISAC, in conjunction with the city, is responsible for overseeing the funds that are generated and they're used to monitor Packery Channel, dredge when necessary, build amenities, and most recently, some of that money was used to help finance the Park Road 22 Water Exchange Bridge. That TERS expires on the 31st of December in 2022. Do you support extending the TERS so that it may continue to fund services that it currently provides? Priscilla, we'll start with you.
Of course. Can you rephrase that question or restate
Yeah,
it?
sure. Do you support extending TERS number 2 when it comes due for reauthorization in December of 2022?
Okay, so I believe in exploring options. I believe in following what the public needs and what is going to be beneficial for the entire city of Corpus Christi, Texas.
All right, thank you. Councilwoman Guajardo.
Yes, I am 100. I'm a 100% vote for the TERS. I support extending it, and I believe that these monies are best used, putting them right back into the island. And as your mayor, I will be the leader to ensure that we extend our island TERS.
All right, thank you. John Medina. There we go. I got to ask more questions.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I support the island tours. Times change, and what we need to look at is when times change, people change. Do they still want them? We need to ask the people if they want these tours. So that being said, that also needs to be voted in. We got to listen to the citizens of Corpus Christi, the citizens of the island. And that's one thing that I'm going to bring to the table. If you got to listen to the people, they're the ones that are going to vote me in, period. And if we don't listen to them, what they want, well, we just need to work with the citizens and go from there. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Vaughn. TERS 2 extension.
I think that the TERS is one of the most important tools that we have. I remember getting on the council in 2014, so impressed when ISAC came before the council. I mean, they have done so much out here and done a great job and very informed on what they're doing. Y'all are 13.5% of the ad valorem comes from out here. So, I mean, you're an integral part of this city. So I absolutely would. I would support doing it again because y'all still have lots left to do.
All right, thank you. Mayor McComb?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, that's quick. All right, Eric.
I'll try to be as short and sweet as well. I do support TERS to an extent. Of course, if the citizens, they want it and then they approve of it. I don't think the citizens voted on the Park Road 22 bridge. Like you mentioned earlier, majority of the funds came from the Packery Channel funding. So I think when something like that is an example, something I don't know if I would support 100%, but to the extent of the TERS, if the citizens are willing to vote for it, then yes.
All right, thank you. Okay, so we're trying to keep this right to about an hour, and we're just about at an hour right now. So we're going to do our wrap up. As David mentioned when we got started, there were at least 50 questions on a variety of different topics, and we've only been able to scratch the surface on some of them. I know that there may be issues that you want to speak to a little bit more, or just give us one last bit of commentary on why we should vote for you to be our next mayor. So that's this one. To wrap up, you can either introduce some new topics that we haven't talked about, something for us to think about, but certainly wrap it up and let us know why it is that you deserve to be the next mayor. And we will start with Eric Rodriguez.
Awesome. Thank y'all. Once again, thank y'all for having me and giving me the opportunity to talk a little bit about myself tonight and in my campaign, or at least some of the issues that I support. I know we didn't have enough time to go over all my platform points and issues, but if you have a chance, so everybody that's out there watching, please visit my website at www.cctodayandtomorrow.com. It'll give you more of a thorough background on my bio, the issues that I am supporting, and of course my platform. Once again, I really appreciate the opportunity of y'all having me. Stay safe, and God bless.
All right, thank you very much. Commissioner Vaughn?
Well, I think that one of the reasons that I have several reasons for running for mayor, but one of the reasons is leadership. I think that we need to have someone that's always going to lead the city and is going to be there in times of COVID. That was something like we've never experienced before. And you've got to be out front with that. I think that we need a vision for this city because our children and grandchildren need to stay. We are behind and we need to quit looking in the rearview mirror. We need to have new things. We need to welcome developers. The vision for North Beach could be a different vision for the rest of this city. Padre Island has such great potential, but we need to do other things out here to make it grow and have that vision. Fiscal responsibility, I'm going to always be at the front on that. And I think you need a decisive, strong mayor that's going to tell you the truth, not tell you what you want to hear so you'll vote for them, but tell you the truth, tell you like it is. And I think I'm that leader. And I think that those are one of the reasons. And I have great business experience, understand a budget. And I think you have to have that. You cannot be, what you need to understand is that the citizens of this city voted for a city manager run government. That is in the charter. That is not a full-time mayor. And if you do that, you're going to be breathing down the neck of the city manager. You're probably going to have him hightail it out of here because those are not the things you do. We set policy. There's a certain thing that the mayor does, and they're out and they represent and they set the tone for the council. But you cannot go above what you're supposed to do or you're going to get the city in trouble. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Mayor McComb.
Well, I'm asking people to look at the record and the performance and not the promises. I think I've delivered some strong leadership on my term as mayor. Like we've gotten through Hurricane Harvey, we got through Hannah, we got through COVID. Some people poke a little fun at to say that, well, McComb, you weren't up in front of the media much in the COVID. Well, they need to understand what the state law is. When you're under declared emergency, the state law says the county judge is the one that makes the final decision. And I think you saw a great working relationship between the county judge and the city of Corpus Christi. And we have done very well. We're on the very good downhill slide of the COVID. And that's because we work together. And I think that's what you want is leadership. Not somebody who always wants to hog the spotlight, but is willing to work with others and make some things happen. And we've made a lot of good things happen in the time that I've been mayor. We want to continue to do that. I understand the charter. I understand the role of the mayor and the council. And it's not to be there on a day-to-day basis, getting into the weeds and telling them what to do, which streets to do, and all this sort of thing. So the city has voted down twice the strong mayor form of government because they know they need a professional to come in and do it. We will act as the board of trustees. We will set the policy, give them the tools and the equipment to do their job. And that's what we're elected to do. And we get out of the way and let them do it. And I think with Peter Zanoni here, we've got a man that understands that. He tells us what he needs. We've been able to provide that for him. We haven't had any water boil since I've been mayor. We've gotten a lot of streets improved, and we're going to continue to improve streets as we go. We're working on many, many things across this community to make it a better place to live and raise your family. And that's my purpose as mayor. I want to do that and finish this term out and get it done. And I'm looking forward and asking for your vote on the island. I've served you before, and I want to continue to serve you this next term.
All right, thank you very much. Councilwoman, or no, I'm sorry, Priscilla. I'm sorry, Priscilla, you're next.
Hi, yes, so I'm running for mayor because the current mayor has clearly not done his position. He claims that he has done it. However, if he has done his job successfully, we wouldn't have a lot of local businesses shutting down and our community would not be in serious distress. He claims to have a lot of sympathy for our homeless. However, I don't see him helping our homeless. I see them flooding in. There isn't a solid plan. I am for the people. I'm not someone who's come in with over $100,000 with extra cash flowing around. I'm not someone who is anti-LGBTQ. I'm not someone who hates people and claims to be of faith and be of a woman of God. I am not someone who has actually run on deception, and I am here to expose every city leader that is actually controlling the city with their millions of dollars and not letting Corpus Christi grow. I am new leadership. I'm ready to work. I'm not here to play games, and I'm ready to just move forward. Our streets are not fixed. If everybody was happy in Corpus Christi, it would show, but it is not happy. People are not happy. It is not happening. We are not growing. We're actually stagnating at this point. Corpus Christi should be a central travel destination, and we are not. We are going to be in some serious problems if we continue with the same baby boomer leadership that refuse to let us, the millennials, the children that they raised, use the skills that they taught us and actually help improve the city. So again, anybody can reach me at prisformayor.com. My cell phone is everywhere. I am very active via Facebook. And also, Mr. McComb, I'm sorry, but laughing at the COVID-19 situation is not funny, and that is very disrespectful. So I will have my mother pray for you. And on the last note, thank you so much for having me, and I look forward to the next debate.
All right, thank you very much. All right, Councilwoman Guajardo.
Thank you. I want to thank you for having us tonight, and I want to set this little record straight right here and now. Nowhere in the charter does it say you can't have a full-time mayor. You have heard clearly, you have people who don't want to work full-time for you. They want to work part-time for you. That is not what I want to do. Peter Zanotti's doing a wonderful job, Mr. McComb, and he's doing it on his own, exactly the way it's supposed to be. If you hire a part-time employee, you get part-time results. You hire a full-time employee, you will get full-time results. And I have been working for you full-time, period. I'm the only mayor candidate that will continue to. They have told you that. I'm the only mayoral candidate who you have seen on a regular basis. You've seen that. So I believe that public service is a sacred trust. It's a pact between myself and you, citizen. This is why I'm always accessible to you. And I will always work for you on a full-time basis. It's because I choose to do that. I'm running for mayor to rebuild and recover our economy, to fix our streets, strengthen public safety, and let's redefine what public health is, what our role is in public health. I am the proud recipient of both the Firefighter and Police Officers Association, so they believe in me. I'm asking for your vote as I'm the only candidate who has proven themselves citywide, and I will continue to be proactive. Corpus Christi's next mayor must be approachable, accessible, and not take a back seat. People want to see our leader. The role of a mayor is to be in front of the city, giving the people hope when they need it and leading them when they need it. That is lacking. I'm not going to make the excuses. You see it, you make them. I'm here. I've proven to you for 4 years that I can be that person. I have the time and the energy, and it takes energy. So I appreciate what you guys are doing tonight. You are a big part of this community. I am very respectful of the voice that is heard from the island. So thank you very, very much for having us all tonight. This is very important.
All right. Well, thank you very much. All right, John Medina, you are, you're up. There we go. We're just getting this down now. It's too bad we have to end. We should go on longer. We're just finally getting it down.
Thank you all for having me. Again, my name is John Medina. I'm running for mayor. I want to improve the city. We need jobs. We need to lower taxes. We need to prioritize our roads, improve our water. Our vision is for our children. They are the future of our city. I want to make this city a smart city of micro technology. We need to work together. The problem has been is that the city council basically works for their own pet projects. And we need to stop that. John Medina is not bribable by nobody. What I've seen in the past is nothing but under the table deals and, you know, lobbying, and we need to stop that. That's all I'm getting from the citizens of Corpus Christi, that when I'm talking to them, that they don't believe in the city council anymore. They need a new leader. And I, John Medina, will be the next new leader for Corpus Christi to work for the citizens full-time, full-time. I don't have right now, I am gonna do it full-time and full-time for mayor, stand tall with John Medina, vote for John Medina, 2020. Thank you, guys.
All right, well, thank you. All right, well, that 8:42, that puts us at just a little bit over an hour. I think our timing is good. I want to thank you all. I want to thank our 6 participants, Eric Rodriguez, Carolyn Vaughn, Priscilla Gomez, Joe McComb, John Medina, and Paulette Guajardo. I know you've had a long day with another event prior to ours. I appreciate you taking the time to join us and answer our questions. And with that, I will hand it back over to David Heitzman to provide any final comments he might have. But thank you one and all for joining us this evening. David.
Bob said, thank you all very, very much. I know that's a difficult road when you're running for office. We all sympathize with you as you deal with all of the issues and try to get the facts. There's a lot of stuff we're throwing at you, and we're looking forward to talking with you guys more later. For those listening or watching, Wednesday and Thursday, we'll also be doing our at-large and District 4 candidates. Those meetings start at 6:30 p.m. and the links will go out onto the website for the IUPAC as well as the Facebook page on probably that day as we make sure everything works properly. So again, thank you guys very much. If you have any questions from us, the IUPAC, or want to make any more comments, please feel free to contact any of us. My number's listed on the website as well. So emails, calls, be happy to chat with any of you. So if you have any questions, call. And thank you all, and good night.
Good night. Thank you.
All right, thank you, everybody. Good night.